Skeleton, you gonna get a fire going?
Yeah.
Yeah, you spark up a fire in the hearth. Yeah, as you enter into the building here, you see that this is clearly like a workers' housing, essentially, and that you see that there's various cots and mattresses available here. See, there's some cabinets and storage and things as well. Let me see here. You see that there appears to be some items and things that are in this cabinet, if you're interested at all.
Ooh, let's snoop.
Yeah.
Steal.
You guys can
Steal.
snoop. I'm gonna have a look around the village.
You go announce the arrival of
Yeah,
your
I gotta do the spiel. Go ahead.
Kaspar and I will snoop.
Absolutely.
I don't like
Nothing here seems in the longhouse as though it's basically just like extra gear and stuff. What you see that there's, kind of trunks and stuff like that under some of the beds that have been left, or like are basically lockers for workers that stay here. They can keep their stuff there when they're working. And you see that half the beds are kind of strewn with clothes and stuff still, and other personal effects. And when you kind of search through the cabinet and through some of these items that have been just kind of abandoned, it seemed like, you see there's about 4 sets of cold weather clothing. You see that there are 3 pairs of ice skates. You find 2 units of clotting powder, 2 Gwent decks of well-worn nature, some soap, and a bottle of dwarven spirits tucked under one of the blankets in the bed.
Can I have the spirits and the Gwent deck?
There's 2 Gwent decks.
I'll take the other Gwent deck. Learn how to play
I
Gwent.
will post the stuff in here so you can...
But before we take this stuff, does it look like this stuff has been left for a long time?
Kaspar doesn't care.
It seems like it's been left in quite a hurry. Like, it seems like stuff that wouldn't normally be left behind, like, Gwent decks or alcohol and stuff has kind of been left in a hurry, but it seems fairly new.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like it's claimed. Like, as it was explained by Younger, like, this is kind of where the workers are staying when they come here seasonally. So it seems like probably stuff that was left when the workers
I will take
fled.
the Gwent deck. How many units of clotting powder? 2?
2 units of clotting powder. I dropped it in the chat.
I will take both of those, unless you want one, Opheia. I was gonna break one down.
I would love one. I think I already have one, but I would like...
I'll give you another one. I'm going to use the one that I take to break down so I can learn how to make it.
Can I have the soap?
You can have the soap. I have my own soap. I want a pair of ice skates.
I would also love a pair of ice skates.
I can't carry that much, so... And also, I feel weird stealing things that are more valuable than clotting powder.
I don't. These look like they've been abandoned, so I don't feel bad.
I really just don't care regardless. What kind of Gwent deck is it? Is it like Northern Realms? Is it like Nilfgaard?
Oh, it's definitely not Nilfgaard. You probably get one that's Northern Realms, and you probably get one that's like the Scoia'tael or something like that.
Hell yeah. Can I have the Scoia'tael one?
Sure.
Even though it's much worse.
I'll have the Northern Realms one then. Where'd that go?
I'm going for a trap heavy
you metagamer.
It's not metagame, it's fucking called strategy. Get good.
And I drop in on the chat how the ice skates work in general, so you can take a look at that.
Treat ice skating as being mounted on a horse with a +2 control modifier and a speed of 12.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Speed of 12 is pretty good. Like, that's a lot faster than normal people.
We're gonna put fucking roller skating. We're gonna be fucking Blades of Fury up in this bitch.
We're gonna go to the Olympics, you and I.
Oh, fine. I'll have a pair of skates. I wasn't sure if hospitality meant... I wasn't sure if hospitality meant taking,
let's see
well, everything, but...
The three of you inside the longhouse, go ahead and give me an awareness check.
Oh no.
Oh no, are we getting caught stealing?
I'm more worried
Be
that
aware
there's
about it and find
somebody
out.
else here.
18.
For nefarious
Okay,
reasons.
nice. 21 and 17. Nice. You all kind of look up and see like Younger like in the like not in the window. She's not like peering like creepily. She's just kind of like walking past to where you presume her house is, and she's looking in on you in a little bit of a creepy way. You kind of see her like smiling face like in the window, illuminated by the fire that you've started, and she kind of just smiles at you and then drifts back into the darkness.
I fucking hate towns like this.
She's on the coin's edge of being nice and creepy. I've yet to see where that coin's going to fall.
Well, they let us into the longhouse, which... longhouse. Julian would have loved this.
My long
Anyway.
house is perfectly constructed.
All right, Kilton, what are you doing?
I'm going to just go around and see if there's anybody else here. There's the old
All right,
lady.
yeah, you take a look around the rest of the village. You see that there is an outhouse. You see Younger's house appears to be up here in this right-hand corner. You see fire flickering from inside one of her windows. You see that there's another cabin that appears to be not currently utilized, and a couple other small, like an outhouse or not an outhouse, a storage house.
It's all outhouses here.
There's all outhouses. They just have 4 outhouses. Very suspicious. No, there's one outhouse and one out storage house or storage, shed type
Town
thing.
is much smaller than I realized, but
It's very small.
Should make it easy to spread word of my arrival. Is it just the 3 of them?
It appears to be at the moment.
Well, my job here is done. Can I roll my...
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably hasn't been an hour, but I don't know. I'll just wait it out, I guess. On first entering a settlement, it's a will DC +5. And I'm going to add my remaining 2 luck into this and hope this old lady doesn't try to eat us this session. All right, 22. So success raises my reputation in this settlement by a number equal to the amount I rolled over the DC divided by 2.
Yeah, and you absolutely... I don't know if it has a suggested DC. I was just going to go with like a 14 because this is a fucking tiny town. So you come in with the warg pelt and like the charm, and they're like really enamored with you. Like they don't get visitors like you ever. Probably
Oh, this guy fucks.
in the last like decade, they've had like one other visitor, because why would anyone come here? So you are the talk of the town between all 3 of them.
Oh, yeah, it is 14. It's 14 for a thorp, 18 for a small city, and 22 for the capital.
So this would be like a 10, honestly. Like, it's so small.
Yeah. All right. Do I see any horses as I go around?
You do not.
Damn. All right, this ain't the
Doesn't
place
appear
to
as
trade
though-
the mule in the market for a used car.
So the rest of you spend an hour kind of unpacking your gear, getting your horses situated. There is like an area for horses. It just doesn't appear as though these people have any. Probably like some of the migrant workers and stuff, ride in on horses or mules. So there's an area to store them. And the rest of you unpack your gear while Kilton kind of takes a look around the village, saying hi to Younger, taking a look around, getting a vibe for stuff. And you are able to spend about an hour doing so. Anything else that the rest of you would like to do in that hour?
What should I grab for the dwarven spirits? Because that's not a specific one.
Yeah, just go ahead and make an item in your inventory. I'll add that to like the list of alcohols, because it's probably the same effect as like alcoholist or something. But
yeah,
Alcahest. Who is for
some good
Kaspar.
shit. That's expensive. That's
good shit. Break that out on birthdays only.
I didn't take the...
Do you guys know what your birthday is?
Yeah,
Yeah. Duh.
I can pull it
June
up right
14th.
now.
Yeah.
Alright, backstory revamp. October 28th.
No.
She's a Scorpio.
Of course she is.
Yes.
Ha!
You would say that about anything that I said, though.
Get her
Yeah,
ass.
that's true.
But she is very much a Scorpio.
I'm a Hydra Flaskarian. I'm a
An Aquarius.
You're a Stanleyan.
I'm a Luftwaftel.
Hilton, you as you're kind of heading back to the longhouse, you very quietly, very stealth, like clearly the footsteps of a hunter. You hear basically like when he's right behind you, you turn to see. He says, "The dinner is ready."
God,
Great,
they're so
please.
creepy here.
I'll let them know.
Why?
How is this creepy? He made us dinner.
Gather your friends while the stew is hot.
Stew's hot. Come along. I get my
I-
bib and my silverware and then follow him out.
I don't trust anybody
Well, it's
here.
not soup.
Kilton,
Okay,
not Kilton.
it's stew.
Kaspar, these are mountain people. This is just how they are.
Yeah. Nicole,
Yes,
you've had to
and I
talk
Henrik
don't-
leads you to his
mother and your
cabin.
daughter.
When you
I
reach
don't.
Henrik's cabin, you see it's small like all the other ones, and honestly, it's kind of tight to all squeeze into the building here. And he leads you into his kind of dining room area. You see he's got like a little stove, pot, stuff like that going on. He says, "Please sit, make yourselves comfortable." You see Hilda. She is sitting on the large bed, and it's, a rustic, charming little cabin. The lodging, it's tidy and well cared for. And you see that Hilda has kind of like a little like horse, like crocheted horse stall type thing that she's playing with.
I love.
And go ahead as you're entering into the cabin. Take a seat here at the table while Henrik serves up some stew. As you're entering into the house, go ahead and give me a deduction check.
Yup.
Please.
Yup.
AC 14 for this one. Wow, Hilton. What?
Deduction.
Nice.
Yes.
We be passing.
I get a
Nice.
+1 for being a human, which is already in there. I forgot. The other ones aren't, so make sure this was actually in there. Yeah. Deduction.
All humans this time around.
All right, you all notice as you enter into Henrik's cabin that this kind of entryway, like bookcase type thing, it's got kind of some drawers and some books and things like that. It's kind of like a little writing desk area. You notice that there is some papers that have like very clearly been hastily cleaned. Like everything else is neat and in order. Seems as though there's some papers and like a journal of some kind that has like hastily been kind of like closed and like pushed into one of the slots of the bookcase. That is clearly like it catches all of your notice. You're all like, "Oh, interesting." Please sit.
We
I
said
am not doing that. I am standing.
I'm sitting.
I've already sat.
I will stand. Thank you.
You'll have to forgive Kaspar. He's had trauma with sitting, right, Kaspar?
he's twinged his back earlier and he's afraid to sit down.
I
I'll take a look at it
apologize.
later.
I know that our house is not as lavish as you might be accustomed to. If you
Oh,
will
no.
not sit, then I will allow Hilda. You may have the seat. And she runs over here, sits in the corner. Would you like the bed, Master Traveler?
No, I am more comfortable standing.
Very well.
I'll take a look at your back later, Kaspar.
All right. Henrik serves up some stew from the crock pot that he's got cooking. And
That's got the old brown and floral pattern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was literally
Where's his grandma's? He got
the
it.
grandma one.
yeah, you see, clearly he's had to like move around some stuff to make seating available for way more people than he's used to at this very tiny table. You see that as he serves up the stew, the meal is pretty meager. It's a watery kind of stew made with some sad winter vegetables and local foraged things. You know, it's like a fish stew, but pretty meager. And there's just not really enough. And so he serves all of you like a relatively full bowl, but doesn't take any for himself. He gives the last like scoop of it to Opheia as he goes around the table and giving everyone like a bowl of soup. As he does so, he says, "I apologize that the stew is not very excellent. I understand that. I wish I could do better."
Kaspar is going to hand him back the bowl and just say, "I have my own rations prepared. You should eat.
You have traveled a long way. It is only right to entertain our guests."
I'm not hungry. Take it.
I thank you. He takes the bowl.
I will be weird and rude about it, but I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah. Hilda, she starts eating her soup and then she complains to her dad. She says, "Dada, I got a tummy ache. I had too much of the sweets."
Oh no! He's like had sugar never, and is now like
Addiction.
It was so tasty.
ate all of them all at once. Throws up.
My dad is so cool. He's a hunter. He's often goes out and catches the biggest deer, and he would have got that warg if it wasn't for you.
Oh, okay.
I want to be just like him when I grow up.
If you eat your stew and not just candy, you will grow up to be big and strong like he is.
You think?
Eat both in equal measure, though.
I know.
I try to. I don't like the fish as much, but I love when Dad catches rabbit or deer.
What's your horse's name? Your little horse friend.
Horse's name is named Rudolph.
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 He's very sweet looking.
My dad, he bought him for me when he did an expedition to Lan Exeter some time ago. He had to leave for a few weeks, and when he returned, he brought Rudolph with him.
You have a very kind father, then, to bring you back. Such a treat.
Do you know, how did you meet Uncle Ulgar when you were traveling? Was he on his way home too?
Did we meet an Olgar?
You recall that the person that was
the name, yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
that being held at Kersarin was named Ulgar.
Ah.
We
Uncle,
actually did.
We did. He's on his way.
Oh, excellent. I would like for you to meet Uncle Ulgar. He is very funny.
We hope to.
How old is this kid, approximately?
Get the idea, probably between 8 and 10.
Does Henrik eat the soup?
Yeah, once Kaspar doesn't want any.
Just make sure we're not actually accidentally being poisoned. Or
Well, and Hilda's also eating.
Yeah, she's
Hilda's also
eating too, but she also complained of a stomachache and stuff.
That's the poison.
Henrik, that's challenging Orc of the Bonfire, right?
It has
Not
been
a daily...
well, since there are only so few of us left, the work has fallen mostly upon my shoulders to keep it kindled. It keeps the beasts at bay and this new threat that we are facing.
Newer than the beasts?
Newer than the beasts of old. Forest beasts. This is something new.
I'm a... What sort of beast?
He kind of looks over at Hilda and he says, Younger will explain everything in the morning.
Okay.
Eat soup. Eat soup.
Once you kind of bring up the beast, Henrik, once Hilda finishes her supper, he'll kind of pick her up and start carrying her to her room. She kind of starts arguing and saying like, "No, Dada, I want to stay up and talk with them. They are so funny. I want to get to know them better." And he says, there will be time tomorrow, Hilda. It is getting late. It is well past your bedtime. You should rest.
We'll speak again tomorrow, Hilda. Go take your rest.
You promise?
Yes, I promise. I'll hold up my pinky for my pinky to her.
She just looks at you like,
it's from link 'em like this. It means a promise.
a promise. A promise that cannot be broken.
This kid's gonna die. For narrative purposes now.
This kid dies, I'm gonna riot. She's so cute.
This is like some fucking Full Metal Alchemist shit.
All right. Once Hilda is put to bed, Henrik kind of cleans up everyone's bowls and takes them. He puts everything kind of back in its place very neatly. He asks, did you find everything in order that you need for the night's rest in the longhouse?
Yes, we did. Thank you very much again for your hospitality.
Excellent. Thank you for coming this evening and allowing us to host you. Hilda she is always enamored by visitors.
Like, I'm of the opinion that these are just really taciturn mountain folk. They're just acting like mountain folk. But
Kaspar
who knows?
just has a distrust of small towns and big cities. And
of all communities of two or more people.
and communities of two people. And singular people. He's fine with kids. If a kid comes at him with a knife, he can fucking take a kid, like, immediately.
Do it. Do it, bitch. Kill him. No.
Kaspar's brain works constantly in a can this thing kill me? If so, hate. If not, tolerate.
I thought it was his mom.
She is just the village elder. She is not related by blood to me, but we are like kin.
Where the fuck is everyone else?
I was right to use my partner. She's attending the bonfire right now?
She will tend to it for the rest of the evening. I will take over from her when we have completed our meal. She requires her rest as well.
If you want, I have a affliction which makes sleeping very difficult. If you want someone to cover your shift for you, I wouldn't mind.
If you would be willing, it is not a hard duty, but one that requires a steady mind.
I think the concentration would be good for me.
I would appreciate it. Thank you, stranger.
Oh, it's Opheia.
Opheia. Well met.
Likewise.
I thank the rest of you for coming this evening. I hope you have a restful night.
We thank you for feeding us of your own stock. We truly appreciate the gesture.
Of course.
While he's kind of chatting with everyone, he kind of like moves over to the table. Can I like quietly step over to where the drawers are and not without touching them, kind of take a look at the papers a little bit closer?
Without touching them? Because they're in like a journal, so it'd be hard. You wouldn't be able to see anything that's on them without opening it.
Then I would like to stealthily open, like, kind of peruse.
I know.
Go ahead and
it's
give us a sleight of hand check. I
Okay.
think. Yeah, we'll go sleight of hand for that.
Well, I'm doing it while he's distracted, so
It's true. I'll give him a -2 to like his house is pretty small, but yeah, I'll say so. 17. Nice. So,
okay, then I beat
so
it.
actually, I think attacking and he's defending with. Unless he's attacking you with his perception. How does this work?
it's weird for opposing skill checks.
Let's call it me.
Let's call it a 1d2.
Okay.
Well, let's see. We'll do a d6. We'll say 1 to 3 he sees you, and 4 to 6 he doesn't see you. You get away with it.
Get away with
Nice.
it.
You get away from it. Yeah.
I get away with
So
it.
he starts to turn, and then like Mareigh starts to say something, and his attention is drawn back. It's very close. You're gonna try and read it here. I mean, you can get it. Like you can.
I can just snag
I
it.
mean, looking at it, it just looks like it's his journal of some sort, like notes and sketches, and it's his journal.
Oh god, what is the likelihood? I mean, it's again, small thing. He's definitely gonna notice if it's gone. Again, weighing fucking risk reward here. Yeah, can I skip to like the latest entry, I guess, and read it?
Sure.
While
Yeah.
everyone's chatting?
Yeah. It'll take a second to read through if you're gonna look at it in any detail, and doing so, you kind of look through. It looks like it's mostly like hunting ledgers. You're looking at the most recent, like the most recent entry in it.
The fires. They said that the fire was a month ago, right? That's kind of where we did these.
Yes.
Can I check a month ago?
Sure. Yeah. It'll take a little bit because there's not like a specific date that you have to look for, so you're kind of flipping through like a roughly month ago, and
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm gonna have you give me just a stealth check now instead of and
Okay.
he's gonna have another chance to see you while you're trying to read this. I mean, yes, you are currently getting. Your presence in general is distracting him, and so yes, Kaspar, yeah,
Holy
because you
shit.
don't know Kaspar's trying to, because he's outside the room. You can't see Kaspar, so
I could have left for all you know. Some snooping. Some ill-advised snooping.
yes.
Well, it can't be ill-advised because no one advised you. You advised yourself.
Nobody advises me, but it's always
He
going to be
ill-advised
ill-advised.
himself.
Kaspar even thinks, like, I shouldn't do this. This is kind of shitty. And
Yeah.
that part of his brain gets fucking fried to death.
But he wants to solve the mystery.
Your impulse control was eaten by the mutagens.
Mhm. Just like me in real life.
Okay, so Kaspar, you have successfully grabbed this journal, leather-bound journal. It seems to be relatively hefty. It seems to document about the last year or so. And with the distraction of the conversation at the table after dinner, you have enough time to stealthily kind of flip through the pages, taking a look first at the most recent pages. You see that there are mentions that the beast has caused havoc within the village. It has driven all of the local workers away, that things are looking really dire for the people who call this place home, which would be mostly the people that are still here, Olgar and Henrik and Youngar and Hilda, of course. And you see that this says started roughly like a couple of weeks ago. You see that there are a few notes about, it's kind of hard to make out his handwriting, but from what you can discern, a couple of weeks ago, he started writing about like stomach pains and issues with his digestive tract. You also see then roughly 6 weeks or so ago, you start seeing notes about the shortage of food in town, food supply being difficult, there not being enough shipments, things getting diverted to the war effort, and small villages like this not getting enough food, and how one of the locals that one of the neighbors had a bounty that, because they had relations in Lan Exeter, that they were able to still get a decent supply and weren't sharing it with the rest of the village, and that he was concerned that Hilda was going to be going hungry again. You also see that there were notes about like more and more frantic scribblings and messages in his journal that suggest that he was indeed the arsonist, that he took into his own hand. He was jealous of their food supplies and was trying to provide for the rest of the village in this dire time.
It was like a whole family that was killed in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
I will say, actually, Kaspar, because you're reading this fairly quickly, I'm going to give you a chance to do something a little, because it's hard to kind of pick up a lot of these details on short notice. So go ahead and give me a deduction check.
Mm-hmm.
And this may determine what information you get or how you perceive it, essentially.
Okay.
18, okay.
Not bad.
So what you understand, you actually flip to one specific page, and the writing is a little bit clearer here, and you see it's kind of like the immediate aftermath, and you are able to put the pieces together that it appears as though Henrik had been jealous that this neighboring family had a bountiful amount of food while the rest of the village was going hungry. And while he thought they were out in the wilds, like foraging and out on an expedition, he went to go steal the food from their kitchen and then burn their house, essentially, to make it look like, to hide the crime of stealing the food, not necessarily knowing that they were at home in the basement at the time, presumably working on something in the larder. And you see that his notes are filled with distraught messages after that, once he realized.
Is there... This is going to be like really random, but this is where my brain went and probably where Kaspar's brain went. Is there a way to test someone for lycanthropy?
I mean, beyond the silver, they would be vulnerable to silver. But other than that, I don't know if there's any easy ways off the top of my head.
Are some of the journal entries suggesting that he's missing time?
With your 18 deduction, it doesn't appear as though he seems like he's just in a bad mental state, not necessarily losing time. It seems like he knew what he was doing. He just didn't realize that the timing of it was not what he thought.
I was thinking about the stomach aches and the four-legged beast, if that wasn't necessarily a ward, because
I will say, Kaspar, go ahead and give me a Witcher training check now. With your deduction, you've pieced together that the basics of this story from Henrik's journal, that he was indeed responsible for this fire, this arson, the death of this family. And with another 18, I will say that you piece together what Mareigh had said earlier, that traumatic deaths can often be the basis of curses and other things like that, and that it appears as though perhaps Henrik has in some way become cursed by this deed that he did. And with that, we shall wrap up and end.
No! God damn it!
Yes!